In the year 2140, Earth found itself irrevocably altered, mid-transition from a solitary sphere in the vast expanse of the universe to a vibrant member of the Galactic Alliance. This monumental shift was not merely orchestrated by the arrival of sleek, mysterious ships hovering over major cities, but by the intricate web of relationships formed at first contact. The day of that contact became a pivotal moment in history, marked by excitement and a new reality filled with possibilities and anxieties surrounding alien existence. Ethan Farrell, a typical Earthling in his mid-20s, strolled through a bustling marketplace, feeling the atmosphere electrified with anticipation. Colorful stalls brimmed with merchandise from Earth and distant planets, items ranging from delicacies and trinkets to garments that shimmered with hidden technologies. Vendors shouted out their enticing sales pitches, fresh Zypherian fruits, perfect for intergalactic gatherings. Their voices hung thick in the air, mixing with the aroma of spices and foods introduced to Earth from alien worlds. Ethan paused to take it all in, his heart racing at the blending of cultures, yet feeling an underlying tension that seemed to constrict his chest. The new law mandating that every human marry 2 alien wives had incited a whirlwind of debate and contention that flowed through everyday conversations. "Have you thought about it?" a woman beside him asked her friend, eyes wide with excitement. "I heard it's not just about unions, it's about bonding cultures." "Yeah, right," her friend scoffed, crossing her arms. "It's a law, not a love story. What's next? Mandatory heart-sharing ceremonies?" "Exactly," Ethan interjected, feeling the weight of his annoyance bubble to the surface. "Are we really supposed to embrace this?" The woman turned to him, surprised. "You think the Zypherians aren't serious about creating bonds? This could pave the way for an incredible future." "Sure," Ethan replied, shaking his head. "But what if it's just coercion dressed up as romance? I've dreamt of love being something that unfolds naturally, not dictated by some intergalactic bureaucracy." Shaking his head with disbelief at the public naivety, he decided to exit the bustling marketplace, searching for a moment of clarity. It was as if the enthusiasm around him was a distracting veil, casting a shadow over his more profound doubts. A familiar face appeared amongst the crowd, Marco, his best friend, waving a sign reading, "Love Beyond Worlds." "Ethan," Marco shouted, his enthusiasm infectious, "you've got to hear this. They're starting a movement to support these marriages, saying it's the next step for humanity." Ethan rolled his eyes, brushing past the noise with impatience. "You're kidding, right? You really think we should embrace this law? It's absurd." "We can't let fear guide us," Marco insisted, adamantly grasping Ethan's shoulder. "This is a chance for us to learn and grow. Imagine, you could meet someone amazing. Or I could end up shackled to 2 strangers, Ethan countered. "I don't want to lose the essence of my own life to a law that clouds love." "Yeah, but listen," Marco pressed, leaning closer, voice intense. "These are beings from another planet. They'll know things we can't even imagine. You're focused too much on the fear and not on the adventure." "I guess you don't understand how heavy this is," Ethan sighed. "I just want genuine relationships, not a government contract." As Marco rambled on about adventure and future possibilities, Ethan wandered off, trying to take in the sheer volume of opinions surrounding him. The reality weighed upon his thoughts. How could he navigate a future dictated by lawmakers utterly removed from human emotion? As the months rolled on, the media excitedly filled with stories about the Zypherians, an enigmatic and highly advanced species from a distant galaxy. They were renowned not just for their stunning appearance, but also for their telepathic communication, which enabled a collective bond that fascinated and frightened Earthlings. "Did you see the ambassador's speech?" Marco gushed as they settled into their favorite cafe, vibrant with murals that celebrated the union of cultures. Ethan raised an eyebrow, attempting to suppress an eye roll. "What speech?" "She talked about how love among species is transformative. The Zypherians value union as a way to strengthen connections, to learn from one another. Just think about it. They glow to express their feelings. How cool is that?" "Glow?" Ethan echoed, frustration simmering just beneath the surface. "You say cool, but what if we can't connect? They live in a way that's so fundamentally different from us." "Exactly," Marco replied, his excitement unwavering. That means our experiences would be even richer. And you just have to be open-minded about it. Think of the stories. I hope it's that simple, Ethan muttered under his breath, staring gloomily at the colorful decorations around the cafe. Deep inside, he felt turmoil washing over him like crashing waves. Days turned into weeks, anxiety growing with the impending meeting. He tried to keep his cool, but the weight of expectations began to press on him, making proper thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. Each night, he lay awake contemplating what the Zephyrians would be like, how they'd communicate, and what values would shape their worldview. Finally, the day to meet his assigned wives approached with an unsettling quickness. He stood before the grand, luminescent hall, the atmosphere thick with anticipation and anxiety. How will I even start a conversation? He thought nervously, glancing down at his outfit and inwardly criticizing every detail. The vibrancy of the outside world was matched only by the impending chaos within Ethan's mind. The protests erupted in full force, with banners waving high, the air electric with dissent. "Down with forced marriages!" a woman yelled, her voice sharp as she thrusted her sign above her head. Marco stood among the supporters, unfazed, radiating energy. "Together we can shape the future," he shouted, leaning into the bold rhythm of the chants. Ethan could see the excitement blazing in his friend's eyes. This law isn't just about marrying. It opens doors to exploration and cultural synergy. We can learn from each other. Ethan hesitated on the sidelines, skepticism gnawing at him. "Marco," he said, struggling with the turmoil within him, "can we really find love in something like this? I mean, what if it all turns to chaos?" "Chaos can be a part of harmony," Marco enthused, gesturing toward the crowd. "You need to embrace this, buddy. This is about redefinitions. Your voice counts." "But what happened to the concept of personal choice?" Ethan questioned, frustration bubbling to the surface. "What if we end up ruining genuine connections out of societal expectations?" "Come on," Marco urged, smacking Ethan lightly on the arm. "This is a chance for growth. You could find something incredible." Ethan turned away and took a deep breath, preparing to retreat from the tension of the crowd, when he suddenly noticed a group of protesters nearby arguing heatedly. "No to forced marriages!" The shouting echoed through the air, a mix of anger and determination swirling like a storm. "Hey, Ethan, up here!" Marco shouted, signaling for him to join as he climbed onto a makeshift podium. With another deep breath, Ethan followed him. "Speak with me," Marco called out. "What? No way," Ethan replied, feeling the rush of nerves flooding his system. "Get on stage," Marco urged, his enthusiasm infectious. "We need your voice." After a moment's hesitation, Ethan climbed onto the stand, feeling the rush of adrenaline. "For the sake of love, I'm in," he shouted, raising his hands to calm the crowd before the noise engulfed him. "If we want a future free to love, we need to stand together against forced unions." The crowd erupted into cheers, the energy swelling in the night air. In that moment, Ethan felt back in control, his voice rising alongside the passionate chants for change. "Let's embrace the chaos instead of fear." The atmosphere pulsed with urgency as waves of defiance surged around him. Empowered by the collective energy, laughter, cheers, and shouts of supporters intertwined. "Yes, we can create the future we want together," Marco echoed, his excitement amplifying within the throng's gathering. The day wore on, and by the time the sun dipped beneath the horizon, the protests had morphed into a dance of camaraderie, a blending of earthly passions that fought for love above all else, standing as a united front. Later that evening, Ethan sat alone in his dimly lit apartment, feeling heavy with the day's deliberations. Surrounding him were the remnants of the chaotic world outside, a kaleidoscope of emotions he needed to unravel. Framing the delicate halo of bright colors around him was the flickering lamp, casting shifting shadows on the plain walls. "What am I doing?" he murmured to himself. "I thought this would make sense, but it just feels like a mess." He glanced around his cluttered apartment, which echoed with every passing hesitation. Suddenly, the shrill voice of the TV broke his thoughts, announcing the next wave of cultural exchange programs for humans and Zephyrians. "More chances to connect," a chipper reporter declared. The words felt like an irritating buzz. Sure, if we fit into their definitions of connection, he scoffed, his discontent pouring out. Hey! Marco's voice echoed from the hallway, filled with buoyancy. You in there? You'll never guess what I found. He bustled into the apartment, excitement radiating from every pore. What do you have? Ethan asked, trying to mirror Marco's energy. A big push for a dialogue program with the Zephyrians. You could work on a project to showcase how we can unite, learning music, culture, relationships, Marco exclaimed, his eyes sparkling. Really? Ethan lifted his eyebrow, surprise replaced by cautious optimism. How could that actually work? What if they don't see eye to eye? Then we get to explore why. Marco grinned. Talking can heal divisions. It's not just about the marriages, it's about enriching our lives. Each day brings a fresh page. Ethan pondered for a moment as a slight smile crept onto his lips. Maybe you're right. Maybe this dialogue program could shed some light on our differences, building genuine bridges and fostering bonds. Exactly. So, let's work this out. We need to equip ourselves with every tool available, Marco urged, a glimmer of determination lighting his features. Imagine if you meet someone amazing through this project. All right, count me in. If we can show them who we are, maybe part of me will feel rooted in all this, Ethan replied, feeling the warmth of Marco's enthusiasm wash over him. The day he was to meet his assigned wives loomed closer, yanking him into a whirlpool of excitement and anxiety. As Ethan entered the grand, luminescent hall, his heart began racing. Would they be everything he hoped or everything he feared? Hello, Valis exclaimed, bouncing toward him with energy that practically hummed. You must be Ethan. I'm absolutely thrilled to meet you. Her vibrant smile was contagious. Hi, nice to meet you both, he stammered, trying to shake off his initial awkwardness. So, this whole marrying thing? Nira stepped forward, her calm demeanor radiating assurance. It's a beautiful journey we're embarking on together. Let us embrace what this means, she replied softly. What if I can't connect? Ethan admitted, feeling the weight of the moment press upon him. What if I say something silly? Don't worry, Valis exclaimed, her eyes shining. It's an adventure. I can guarantee we'll laugh together about all of this at some point. Ethan chuckled nervously, though he felt a slight easing of tension. So tell me, what do you two do for fun? Oh, we have endless possibilities, Valis beamed, leaning in closer, eyes sparkling with intrigue. Tell us what Earthlings do. Do you have thrilling stories? Well, yeah. We enjoy all sorts of entertainments, music, movies, sports, you name it. Ethan waved his hands, emboldened by their curiosity. Music? Nira's interest sharpened, her glowing patterns shifting under the lights. Tell me, what is your favorite? Oh man, there's so much. I love rock, especially the Starlight Escape. They create sounds that bind souls. Valis leaned closer, a vibrant excitement lighting her features. We have to listen to it. A culture is revealed through music. It is a universal language. Definitely, Ethan agreed, laughter bubbling in his chest. What about you two? Are there any Zephyrian songs we should hear? Ah, but we must weave our tastes, Valis exclaimed, her enthusiasm contagious. Let's mix sounds. We will merge our worlds together. Ethan nodded eagerly, surprised by how quickly his nerves eased as the conversation flowed. For the first time faced with strangers he was bound to marry, he didn't feel alone. Their connection blossomed into affection, laughter ringing as they bonded over cultural nuances, knitting together fragments of each other's lives and backgrounds. Days passed in a flurry of rich experiences with Nira and Valis, their bond nurturing an evolving sense of comfort. Yet even among the flourishing happiness, Ethan longed for the companionship of friends, particularly Marco, whose upbeat spirit remained a beacon. Hey, you were right, they are awesome, he texted Marco after another lively evening shared with his wives, excitement punctuating his words. We lost track of time chatting until the stars blinked at us. Marco's reply came almost immediately. Not surprising, just check your heart. You're opening up more. But are you really committing? Committing isn't what scares me, Ethan typed back, contemplating deeply. It's how genuine it all feels, which is intimidating. This law still looms over us. Dude, it's about adventure. You'll find something amazing, Marco encouraged, echoing encouragement in each line. By the way, we should totally throw a mixer, Marco suggested in a subsequent message. Invite friends and your wives to join in. Let's blend our dinners, Earth and Zephyrian style. Great idea. Let's make it happen, Ethan quickly replied, a rush of excitement bubbling within him. The upcoming mixer held the promise of new connections and excitement. Valis and Nira both jumped at the chance, their enthusiasm amplifying Ethan's spirit. We can showcase flavors from every culture. Who knows what wondrous things a diverse gathering might yield, Valis declared, her face aglow. Ethan's heart danced at the thought. So what do we want to prepare? He asked, leaning into their planning. Maybe start with some classic Earth appetizers. Earth appetizers? Nira echoed thoughtfully. What are the staples? Things like chips and salsa, maybe vegetable platters, and, of course, pizza, Ethan exclaimed. Pizza, I love it, Valis cheered, clapping her hands giddily. It will be glorious. As they prepared, laughter erupted in the kitchen where creativity turned into culinary chaos. I can't believe we're attempting this again, Ethan said, feigning exasperation as vegetables flew across the counter. Keep it steady. That's a Rolex tomato. We must have perfect presentation, Nira teased, swirling the glowing herbs into the mix with grace. Presentation? Does anyone actually care? Valis laughed, adding ingredients haphazardly. Let's just make sure it's delicious. As they worked together amidst the joyful chaos, Ethan felt his confidence gradually building. The rich atmosphere surrounding them began enveloping fabric threads of connection, intertwining layers of flavor and fun. With each passing day, Ethan and his Zephyrian wives found themselves basking in the joy of newfound routines. They created rich experiences through humorous trials and shared snippets of life that allowed them to fully embrace their differences, while the impending bonding ceremony still loomed on the horizon, heavy with uncertainty. Are you nervous? Valis asked one evening as they sat beside an ornamental pond under the stars, the gentle glow resembling that of shimmering fireflies. Kind of, Ethan admitted, glancing at the water. I mean, the bonding ceremony is a big deal. What if I cannot connect with you both? What if it feels forced? Nira, sitting across from him, offered her hand with a tender smile. It's a transition, both for us and for you. We must create our connection with honesty. Ethan hesitated before responding. But what if I'm too much of a nervous wreck? How do I even start? Just look into our eyes, Nira said, warmth filling her voice. Let go of the worry. Feel the rhythm of thoughts during the ceremony. Let your heart speak openly. As the evening approached, Ethan paced slightly, an anxious energy thrumming in every fiber of his being. Memories of conversations flooded his mind, tales of hardship, of new beginnings, and of discovery. As much as I want this, he murmured, how can I ensure we're truly bonded? In response, Valis leaned closer, her playful spirit illuminating the space. Let's personalize it. We can bring pieces of our worlds into the ceremony, songs and food. It'll be a celebration. We can celebrate our differences too. I like that idea. It will give it a unique touch, Ethan responded, enthusiasm bubbling forth. We'll make our own traditions. As the days rushed forward, they dove into planning with unmatched energy. Laughter filled the air as they curated playlists, intricate ideas transforming into sweet symphonies of understanding. Each rhythm pulsed a heartbeat of their blossoming bond. But amid the excitement, Ethan occasionally found whispers of doubt creeping in. What if I mess everything up at the ceremony? What if we don't feel the connection? He pondered alone, feeling the shadows watched over the impending day. Nira caught him one evening as he gazed into the horizon, solemn. Ethan, be free, she said, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. Trust in this process. Trust? What if— Don't let fear linger, Valis chimed, flashing a warm, brighter smile. Trust the bond we've created will guide you forward. This is a journey. Ethan felt their words wrapping around him like a coat, weighing less as apprehension began to flicker away. Together, they would embark on the journey without fear. The day of the bonding ceremony arrived. Radiant colors and glowing lights blended harmoniously, casting vibrant patterns across their gathering space under the blanket of stars. Ethan felt a whirlwind of excitement and anticipation. Are you ready? Nira's calming presence steadied him as they approached the ceremonial circle. Ready, I guess, he admitted nervously, his heart racing. But I hope we find a real connection in all this. Valis squeezed his hand. We're on the same team. We want this to be magical for all of us. Let's make it unforgettable, Ethan said, the warmth of Valis's support enveloping him. As Ethan took his place in the circle with them both, Nielsen glanced around at the ambrosial ambience. Breathlessly, he braced himself for what would unfold. Naira and Valis settled beside him, their energy mingling with his. On the count of 3, Naira urged softly, "Breathe together. 1, 2, 3. With synchronized breaths, the surroundings shifted, the air thick with anticipation as their thoughts began to intertwine, igniting an awe-inspiring whirlwind. Every shared thought cascaded like a mesmerizing waterfall, filled with hopes and uncertainties. Let the rhythm guide your heart, Valis urged, voice flowing softly amidst the ignited connection, coaxing Ethan to embrace the unfolding. As time melted away, Ethan glimpsed fragments of their lives, Naira's tranquil dedication to tradition, Valis's insatiable curiosity mirrored back at him, and he felt locked in an embrace of extraordinary footprints. In that reckoning, he found freedom. Thoughts began to flow, a symphony of laughter, fears, and dreams. I'm terrified of losing myself, Ethan confessed telepathically, allowing the raw emotions to unfurl in an open whirl. But you are never losing us, Naira responded, her thoughts resounding like a protective aura. We are woven, and together we discover strength. The enchanting rhythm of emotions surged through them, becoming a bonding of souls that tied Ethan, Naira, and Valis into an unbreakable tapestry. He felt their thoughts anchoring his in ways he hadn't imagined possible. With every pulse, doubts began to subside, clear as a moonlit sky. I didn't expect it to be this impactful, Ethan gasped once the communion broke, their breathing heavy as they stepped back from the intimate connection. Words hardly capture this experience. Well, we're all in this together, Valis said, eyes sparkling brightly. You felt it too, right? Absolutely. We are destined to create our adventure, Naira added, her essence calming yet vibrant, intertwining with the warmth of the moment. The journey isn't dictated by law. It's about the adventure of love. As the ceremony came to a close, Ethan looked upon the night sky, allowing the stars to guide him. The previous doubts that had plagued him began to melt away, and from within, he found solace in their shared strength. Their story was beginning to thrive. As weeks flowed forward, Ethan thrived amidst the nurturing bonds surrounding him. However, the looming specter of society weighed heavily on his thoughts. The rebellion against the marriage law continued to escalate, and he rode the waves of mixed emotions as he fought to establish genuine connections with Naira and Valis. Protesters gathered outside yet again in the streets, holding banners high, voices rising clear. Freedom to choose, they shouted, shaking the air with energy and determination. Ethan felt the pulse of a tumultuous excitement rushing through him, a personal struggle embedded deep within. Do we really have the power to change their minds? He murmured, glancing toward Marco alongside him, uncertainties creeping back. Of course, Marco shouted, aligning himself amongst the clamor, energy almost palpable. Our voices matter. We're uniting for love and autonomy. With another deep breath, Ethan mounted the stage alongside Marco, feeling the rush of adrenaline pumping through him as he confronted the crowd. I'm proud to stand with you, he shouted, invoking a cheer. Marriage should be about love, not dictated by law. We deserve to choose who holds our hearts. With encouragement bursting from the crowd, the intensity swelled. Ethan didn't hesitate to speak his truth, his heart racing with every moment. Let's embrace love freely. We're not just fighting against law, but for a future filled with choices and connection. The crowd erupted with chants, waving banners high above their heads. The feel of urgency pulsed as hundreds of voices resounded around him. Yes, choose love, choose freedom. As the day wore on, Ethan stepped down from the stage, invigorated. What you did today was incredible, Valis exclaimed, her expression beaming with pride. You're leading the change. Naira nodded, her reassurance palpable. You stood tall and spoke your heart. That has impact, Ethan. Remember, your voice, your love, each day we shape this path together. Though the riotous energy buzzed around him, Ethan felt a lightness, knowing they would face this journey as a collective force. Through their connection, his purpose soared as he realized that love transcended blind societal commitments, striving for connection and understanding. As time unfurled, bonds intertwined deeper, vibrant colors brightening the tapestry of their lives. Each day, Ethan, Nira, and Valis found solace in one another as they shared everything: laughter, dreams, and the warm, heartbeat-like rhythm of their connection. One serene night, they gathered beneath the galaxies, feeling the soft caress of warm breezes around them. The gentle glow reflecting their radiant smiles embodied the sense of home they had created together. "Doesn't it feel like we're floating?" Valis laughed, twirling around in the grass. "Like we're a part of this cosmic beauty?" "It does," Ethan realized, warmth blooming in his chest. "I've never felt so at peace, so connected, and yet watched over by something greater." Nira leaned closer, holding Ethan's hand. "Together we invite magic into our lives, the essence of what it means to exist without constraint. It is up to us to define our path." "I want to build stories that no one has told yet," Valis chimed in, her enthusiasm sparking excitement. "Let's push boundaries and explore life as we create our legacy." "Every day will be a new chapter," Ethan responded, feeling the profound connection that had blossomed. "I want to make this journey memorable. Every joy shared and every challenge faced, we'll reshape it into our tale." As they laughed and shared memories beneath the twinkling stars, Ethan felt invigorated. The shadows of doubt faded with every heartbeat. With hand in hand, hearts intertwined like cosmic threads, they ventured forth, transcending societal barriers with each step. Their story became a testament of unwavering love, written across celestial canvases, forging a path that embraced new adventures filled with exploration and vulnerability, as they discovered together what true love meant. And in the grand tapestry of life, they welcomed their future, one where conventional boundaries evaporated, leaving behind an indomitable spirit rising in concert with the stars above.